Alright, yo, man. It's your boy Humboldt League 2 times. Feel me? Back in that video, man. Feel me? Follow the Instagram at Humboldt League 2 times. Now, look, just today's time, we're talking about breaking away from negative energy. Now, look, for today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to the Most High in general for everything. I'm also giving a new shout out to myself as well for wanting to receive this good information and give out this good information as well. I'm also giving a new shout out to everyone and to y'all. Y'all literally take energy out of y'all's day to come rock me, show me love, support, you feel me? I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much more than love always deeply. I'm also sending good positive energy. Good positive protection, good positive feeling, and good positive energy towards everyone always deeply. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, just DM me on my Instagram at Humboldt2times. Let's go ahead and get more deeper to the video. Breaking away from negative energy. So, when it comes to breaking away from, negative energy, right? How do you do this, right? Excuse me. It's a lot of different ways to break away from negative energy, right? A great way to break away from negative energy is just simply no contact. And I know this can be very hard. It can be very hard. It can be very challenging to do, but doing no contact, what I mean by no contact is exactly what I just said. Literally no contact is where you do not contact someone. You don't contact them on social media. You don't contact their phone number. You don't reply to texts. You don't reply to voicemails. You don't reply to emails, FaceTime, calls, none of it. You don't accept invitations to go out to places, none of that, and this is a good way. I'm not gonna say it's a faster way, but it is, I feel like it's more of a consistent way if you're being consistent with it to help you maybe, get away from that negative energy. Because sometimes in life, to get away from negative energy, sometimes you have to do something that you don't want to do, truly, you know what I'm saying? Or that you may not really want to do. Another way, that's really one of the main things though, is just going on no contact, just not contacting the individual or the people, right? And another way is too, by breaking out of like just negativity and the negative energy, right? And the negative cycles is by changing your energy, right? Because even if you are around negative people, you still don't have to be negative. But I know it can be hard or harder to not be negative when you're around nothing but negative people, or you're trying to fit in, or you just seem like you're not really matching, or the energy isn't really like on the same page as everybody else. So now you feel like you gotta fit in, and now you're being negative just to fit in. But when you leave that situation, you feel bad, your energy is low, you feel tired, all this stuff, right? You know what I mean? And changing your energy, right? And also just getting away from negative people, right? So sometimes you got to cut people off even if you don't want to, because they're just too negative. They're just negative, and you're not on that, and you don't want to be negative, and you are who you hang around to a certain extent. That's the honest truth, bro. That's very true. Very, very true, and another thing is too with getting away from negative energy is when you first rise up, if it's not the first thing that you do, I recommend you to make it one of the first things that you do, if not the first thing when you rise up, is to meditate. I know a lot of people, when they rise up, they pray. You can meditate. While you're meditating, you can also pray while you are meditating. All right? Meditation is very important. Meditation is very imperative, if you're somebody like myself who's a fire sign, that's just filled with energy, you always got energy, and, you know, etc. We're just very, like, us fire signs, we're very, very, like, just, we can be very chaotic, especially Leos. But even if you're not a Leo, even if you're not a fire sign, you still have a lot of energy. You still always have energy. But rather if you're a fire sign or not, rather if you're a Leo or not, I recommend everybody to meditate. And I also recommend you, when you are going to meditate, I recommend meditating in the best type of times that work for you. I also recommend maybe meditating like when you first get up or like when you first rise up, because I feel like it kind of helps you set the tone of the day, right? Like when I'm meditating, it just helps me become more calmer. I'm already calm, but I became, you know, just so much more calmer and so much more tapped in with so much more of myself, etc. Just simply just sitting down and just being in the now and just being with myself and just being with my ancestors and just really just, you know, just being in that moment, you know, etc. And so yeah, I recommend meditating like as soon as you rise up. One of the first things that you do is when you rise up, I recommend meditating because I feel like it naturally helps calm you down. So even if you do experience something later, you didn't already meditated, so you already have tapped in with that calmness, higher self energy, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, but yeah, meditation is a good way to, you know, get rid of and cleanse out and flush out that negative energy, you know, because when you're meditating, it's so much I can say about meditation, but it's really just something that you have to really just go experience yourself. Like I can tell you about meditation, you can hear other people talk about meditation, but I feel like if you really want to know, like really know, inner know about meditation, you really have to just go within. Like what I mean by you have to go within is that you really have to go and meditate and go do it, you know. You know, you can still learn and soak up a lot of good information from myself and from others talking about meditation. But I feel like one of the best ways to really tap in with meditation is by actually going to go meditate, you know. And another thing too, to break away from negative energy, like I said earlier, you know, changing your energy, changing your mindset, right? You're only negative if you choose to be negative, you know. You don't have to be negative, you know. You have the choice, you have the free will to do as you please. You have the free will to be positive if you want to be positive. And I know that may be easier said than done. I know that may be something very hard to do, but you know, it's the honest truth, you know. Like you don't gotta be negative. You don't gotta be mean. You don't gotta be rude to people. You don't gotta be disrespectful. You don't gotta get loud with people. You know, in my opinion, I feel like if you're gonna get loud, why not get loud about something that actually makes sense to get loud about? You know, like, you know what I mean, bro? Like, you know, just getting loud just to get loud is like for what? You know what I'm saying? But you know, you get some good news. Okay, that's something to get loud about. You know what I mean? Or you hear somebody that you know get some good news. That's something to get loud about. You know, or you're just happy because you're alive. You know, that's something to get loud about, of course. You know, etc. But just getting loud because you're trying to get your point across, it's truly not worth it. And it'll never be worth it in that way. It's just the honest truth. But you know, changing your mindset. You know, being more positive, having more faith and more trust in yourself and in the universe, and just really just, this goes for myself as well, be more patient with others. A lot of times we unconsciously and consciously compare ourselves, including myself at times, and sometimes I'll catch myself and I'll realize like that we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. So you know, and it's important not to compare yourself with anything in life. People are different. Everybody's different, and everybody experiences things different. Everybody gets over things differently, right? So just because you may want something to work right now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they may want it to work right now. They might want it to work, but maybe they just don't want it to work right now. Maybe they want to tap into it later, or maybe they don't, you know, etc. Maybe so. So, you know, it's a lot of different ways to, you know, it's a lot of different ways to get out of that negative energy, right? It's really your perception. It's really your energy. It's really the people that you're around. It's your vibration. It's, are you working on yourself? Are you healing on yourself? Are you repenting? Are you doing things? Are you cleansing? You know, are you doing things to get out of that negative energy? Or are you just continuously being negative, right? And you know, we have, like I said, you know, we have free will. You know, we have free will, and we have the opportunity, and the opportunities to be positive or to be negative, right? And you know, like that saying where it's like life is what you make it, that really is very true. You know, that's very true. Life really is what you make it, you know. Life can be however you want life to be, right? And I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I really want you to understand and really take time and take energy to really understand what I'm about to say. Don't let anybody, I recommend you not to let anybody make you think or make you believe or make you feel, etc., or try to manipulate you and make you think that you can't get something or you can't have something. You are special. You are more than special. You can have anything that you want to have. Never let somebody make you think that you can't, right? It may be hard for you to get it. It may feel impossible, etc., but you can get anything that you want. And that's real. As long as you never give up in yourself, as long as you never give up. Sometimes as long as you never give up on people, maybe so. As long as you never give up on the universe, as long as you continue to have faith in yourself and the universe. Continue to keep being positive, continue to keep having a positive mindset. You know, you're putting in the work, etc., manifesting, etc. But look, man, if y'all want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, DM me on my Instagram at HumbleAli 2 times. And I'll catch y'all from Mother on the next one, man. Peace.